The number 7, since time immemorial, has been seen as more than just a simple digit. It resonates across various cultures and spiritual traditions as a powerful and enigmatic symbol. Today, we will explore why the number 7 is widely considered the number of God and how it has been revered throughout history. Imagine a universe where numbers are not merely mathematical tools, but mystical codes revealing deep secrets about creation and the spirit. The number 7, in particular, repeatedly appears as a sign of completeness and perfection. Since antiquity, it has been associated with wholeness, representing the union of the divine with the human, the spiritual with the material. In the context of Judeo-Christian tradition, the number 7 assumes a central role. According to the Bible, God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, thereby establishing the 7-day week pattern we still follow today. This rest on the 7th day was not just a conclusion to creation, but also the consecration of a sacred cycle, a cycle that both ends and opens up new possibilities for life and renewal. But the significance of the number 7 is not limited to the Judeo-Christian tradition. In other cultures and religions, it also carries significant spiritual weight. In Islam, for example, the number 7 appears repeatedly, from the 7 heavens to the 7 circuits around the Kaaba during the Hajj. In Hindu tradition, we find the 7 chakras, spiritual energy centers along the spine, each representing a level of consciousness and spirituality. The number 7 also connects with nature in subtle yet profound ways. Consider the lunar cycle, divided into 4 main phases, each lasting approximately 7 days. Or the existence of the 7 colors of the rainbow, symbolizing the diversity and completeness of visible light. The recurrence of the number 7 in nature suggests that it is inscribed in the very fabric of the universe, like a code that binds the physical to the spiritual. Over the centuries, mystics and scholars have tried to decipher the hidden meanings behind this number. Some believe it is a secret code left by God to guide humanity on its spiritual journey. Others see the number 7 as a key to accessing higher dimensions of consciousness, a bridge between the human and the divine. Through all these perspectives, one thing becomes clear. The number 7 is more than just a number. It is a symbol of perfection, spirituality, and mystery. Understanding the meaning of the number 7 invites us to look beyond the obvious, to explore the secrets of the universe, and to connect with what is eternal. Now that we've established the foundation for the spiritual significance of the number 7, we'll be ready to explore how this sacred number appears in Holy Scriptures and other spiritual texts throughout history. But before we move forward, it's worth reflecting on how the number 7 permeates our daily lives, often without us noticing its constant presence. This is just the beginning of our journey to unravel the secret codes of the number 7. As we progress, we will dive even deeper into its symbolism, discovering how it influences our perception of the divine, nature, and even ourselves. The number 7, as we will see, is not just the number of God. It is the number that invites us to explore the mysteries of our very being. With this reflection in mind, get ready to explore the ways in which the number 7 manifests in the Holy Scriptures, revealing even more of its connection to the sacred and the divine. Since the dawn of recorded history, the number 7 has held a special place in Holy Scriptures, acting as a symbol of completeness and spiritual perfection. Its presence in religious texts is not merely coincidental, but deeply intentional, reflecting a divine order underlying the universe. Let's dive into this spiritual journey to discover how the number 7 manifests and what it represents in different sacred traditions. In the book of Genesis, the creation of the world in 7 days is perhaps the most well-known reference to the number 7. God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. This 7th day, known as the Sabbath, is not just a day of rest, but also a symbol of the covenant between God and humanity, a sacred time reflecting the perfection and completeness of creation. This 7-day weekly cycle is one of the foundations of Judeo-Christian spiritual life, a cycle that connects human time to the divine. Beyond Genesis, the number 7 appears in many other biblical contexts. In the book of Revelation, for example, the number 7 is used repeatedly. The 7 churches, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, and the 7 spirits of God. Each of these elements reflects an aspect of divine revelation and spiritual perfection. The 7 churches, for instance, symbolize the entirety of the universal church, while the 7 seals and 7 trumpets represent significant stages of divine judgment and redemption. But the Bible is not the only sacred text where the number 7 plays a prominent role. In the Quran, the number 7 is also highly symbolic. Muslims believe there are 7 heavens, which represent different levels of spiritual existence. Additionally, during Hajj, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, pilgrims perform 7 circuits around the Kaaba, an act that symbolizes the centrality of God in the believers' lives and the pursuit of divine closeness. The Jewish tradition also places great importance on the number 7 outside the biblical context. In the Talmud, for example, the number 7 is associated with cycles of purity and renewal. The Shemitah, or sabbatical year, occurs every 7 years and is a time of rest for the land, reflecting the cycle of creation and the need to renew the spirit and nature. Other religious and spiritual traditions around the world also revere the number 7. In Hinduism, the number 7 appears in scriptures as part of rituals and spiritual beliefs. For example, during a Hindu wedding, the couple takes 7 steps around the sacred fire, each representing a vow for their life together. These vows reflect the belief in the sanctity and completeness of marriage, a spiritual union blessed by the divine. In Buddhism, we find the number 7 in meditation and purification practices. The 7 steps taken by Buddha after his birth, for example, symbolize the overcoming of human limitations and the quest for nirvana. This act reflects the spiritual journey that all must undertake to reach enlightenment. Thus, we see that the number 7 is not just a constant in Christianity or Judaism, but also in many other religious and spiritual traditions around the world. Its recurring use in Holy Scriptures suggests that it is a divine code, a way of communicating deep and universal spiritual truths that transcend cultural and religious boundaries. The ubiquitous presence of the number 7 in scriptures and spiritual practices demonstrates its importance as a symbol of perfection, balance, and holiness. It invites us to consider the cyclical nature of time, spiritual renewal, and the presence of the divine in our daily lives. In a world full of uncertainties, the number 7 acts as a beacon, guiding us back to the divine order that underlies creation. As we continue our journey in the next section, we will explore how the number 7 manifests in nature and the cosmos, revealing yet another layer of its deep meaning and its connection to the divine. When we look at the universe around us, we begin to notice that the number 7 manifests not only in sacred texts, but also in nature and the cosmos itself. This presence suggests that the number 7 is not just a spiritual concept, but also a reality that permeates creation in a profound and inexplicable way. Let's start with the Earth itself. The planet we live on is divided into 7 continents: Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. This natural division is not just a geographical curiosity, but can be seen as a reflection of the wholeness of the physical world. Just as in the scriptures, where the number 7 represents completeness and divine order, the Earth seems to have been organized to reflect this same perfection. Moving from the terrestrial to the celestial, we find the number 7 in the celestial bodies visible to the naked eye, known to the ancients: the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. Each of these celestial bodies plays a fundamental role in astrology, a practice that, for millennia, has connected the stars and planets to life on Earth. These 7 bodies govern different aspects of human life, and together, form a cosmic web that influences destiny. In the lunar cycle, we find further evidence of the importance of the number 7 in nature. The Moon, our closest celestial neighbor, goes through 4 main phases in a cycle of approximately 28 days. Each of these phases, new, waxing, full, and waning, lasts about 7 days. This 7-day cycle not only structures our perception of time, but also affects tides, animal behavior, and even human mood, revealing an intrinsic connection between the number 7 and the natural rhythms of life. The presence of the number 7 extends further when we look at the visible light spectrum. The rainbow, one of the most beautiful manifestations of light in nature, is composed of 7 distinct colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. These 7 colors represent the totality of visible light to the human eye, and their division into 7 parts reflects once again the concept of completeness and universal harmony. In the human body, the number 7 also makes its appearance. There are 7 orifices in the human head: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and the mouth. These 7 portals connect our body to the external world, allowing us to see, hear, smell, and taste our surroundings. This natural pattern of 7 is not just biological, but also symbolic, suggesting that the number 7 is inscribed in the very essence of human life. Another fascinating example of the number 7 in nature is found in some animal species. Periodical cicadas, for example, have life cycles of 7, 13, or 17 years, with the 7-year cycle being the shortest. This intriguing life pattern can be interpreted as a manifestation of divine mathematics in nature, a secret code that governs the behavior of these creatures in a precise and predictable manner. Nature also reveals the number 7 in its more subtle forms, such as in the growth patterns of some plants and the crystalline structures of minerals. In many cases, these patterns follow an organization that reflects the harmony and beauty of the number 7, suggesting that it is a fundamental principle of natural order. These examples, scattered across the earth, the sky, and even within our bodies, demonstrate that the number 7 is more than just a coincidence. It is a divine signature inscribed in the very structure of reality. This recurrence of the number 7 in nature and the cosmos leads us to ask, why does this number appear so frequently? Could it be that the number 7 is a key to understanding the mysteries of the universe and the interconnectedness of the physical and the spiritual? As we reflect on this question, we see that the number 7 seems to act as a bridge between the material and the immaterial, the visible and the invisible. It connects us with the natural cycles that govern our daily lives and reminds us that behind the apparent disorder of the world, there is a divine order, a greater plan that governs creation. As we move forward in our exploration, the next step will be to examine how the number 7 impacts human psychology, influencing our minds and hearts in ways we don't always consciously perceive. With this, we can understand even more deeply why the number 7 is seen as a secret code of the universe. The number 7 is not just a constant presence in nature and sacred texts. It also exerts a profound influence on the human mind. This number seems to have an almost magical attraction, capable of capturing our imagination and subtly but significantly guiding our choices. In this part, we will explore how the number 7 affects our psychology, shaping everything from our preferences to how we perceive the world around us. First, consider the popularity of the number 7 in random choices. When people are asked to pick a number between 1 and 10, most tend to choose 7. This phenomenon is not a coincidence, but rather an expression of what some psychologists call preference for central odd numbers. The number 7, being exactly in the middle between 1 and 10, is seen as a balanced number but with a touch of unpredictability, as it is not divisible by many other numbers. This uniqueness makes it attractive and memorable. Another area where the number 7 stands out is in human memory. Psychologist George Miller, in his famous paper, The Magical Number 7 Plus or Minus 2, pointed out that the capacity of short-term memory to retain information revolves around 7 plus 2 items. This means that, on average, we can remember about 7 items, such as digits, words, or concepts, before we start to forget or confuse the details. This cognitive limitation not only highlights the importance of the number 7 in our mental processing capacity, but also explains why lists with 7 items are so common and effective. Beyond its influence on memory, the number 7 also plays a significant role in popular culture and superstitions. Think of how often the number 7 is associated with luck. From the 7 numbers on the roulette wheel to the famous Lucky 7 in casinos, the number 7 is frequently considered a symbol of good fortune. This association may have its roots in ancient traditions and scriptures, but it also reflects how our subconscious mind sees the number 7 as something special and auspicious. The number 7 is also present in the cultural structures that shape our perception of the world. For example, in music, the diatonic scale, which forms the basis of most Western music, contains 7 main notes: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and ti. This 7-note pattern creates a sense of completeness and harmony, providing the foundation for melodies that resonate deeply with our emotions. Similarly, in cinema and literature, the number 7 is often used to create narrative structures that are intuitively satisfying for the audience. Films and books with plots involving 7 stages, challenges, or main characters tend to be more memorable and impactful, precisely because the number 7 resonates with our perception of a complete and well-balanced journey. In spirituality and meditative practices, the number 7 is also seen as a path to inner balance. Many belief systems, like those mentioned earlier, consider the number 7 as representative of a complete cycle of spiritual transformation. The practice of meditating in cycles of 7, whether in breaths, mantras, or movements, is common in various spiritual traditions and aims to harmonize body, mind, and spirit. Moreover, the number 7 plays an important role in decision-making and personal beliefs. Psychological research shows that when faced with a list of options, people tend to feel more comfortable and confident choosing from among 7 alternatives. More options can cause overload, while fewer alternatives can seem limiting. The number 7 thus offers a perfect balance between choice and freedom. All this influence of the number 7 on human psychology is not just a curiosity. It reflects a deeper connection between the number and our quest for meaning, balance, and harmony. The number 7 guides us in an almost invisible way, shaping our choices, memories, and even our superstitions. Understanding how the number 7 influences our psychology allows us not only to appreciate its presence in our lives, but also to use this knowledge to seek greater inner balance. As we move forward, in the next section we will explore how the number 7 manifests in rituals and cultural traditions around the world, further reinforcing its role as a secret code connecting the human and the divine. The number 7 is not just a spiritual symbol or a psychological concept. It also occupies a central place in many rituals and cultural traditions around the world. Its presence in ceremonies and religious practices reveals how different cultures have perceived and revered the number 7 as a sacred element, imbued with deep power and meaning. Let's explore how the number 7 manifests in these cultural contexts, showing its lasting influence on human life. One of the most notable examples of the number 7 in religious rituals is found in Islam, specifically during the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. One of the most important rituals of the Hajj is the tawaf, in which pilgrims circle the Kaaba 7 times, the most sacred shrine in Islam. These 7 circuits symbolize the centrality of God, Allah, in the lives of Muslims and represent the unity and harmony of the universe. The number 7 here reflects both the cosmic structure and spiritual devotion, connecting the devotee with the divine in a cycle of perfection. In Hinduism, the number 7 also plays a vital role in matrimonial rituals. During the Hindu wedding ceremony, the couple performs the Saptapadi, or 7 steps. In this ritual, they take 7 rounds around the sacred fire, each representing a vow they make to each other for married life. These vows include promises of companionship, prosperity, health, well-being, and fidelity. The number 7 here marks the solidity and completeness of the marital union, ensuring that the marriage is blessed and enduring. Buddhism offers another significant example of the number 7 in its spiritual practices. In the context of Buddhism, Buddha took 7 steps immediately after his birth, an act symbolizing the overcoming of the limitations of the material world and spiritual ascension. These 7 steps are often interpreted as representing the 7 directions: north, south, east, west, above, below, and center, symbolizing Buddha's spiritual dominion over the entire universe. Here, the number 7 is seen as a symbol of transcendence and enlightenment. Jewish traditions also revere the number 7, particularly in the context of religious rituals and observances. In addition to the Sabbath, which is the 7th day of the week and a sacred time of rest, there are other Jewish practices that incorporate the number 7. For example, during the festival of Sukkot, Jews observe the Hoshannot ritual, in which the congregation walks in a circle around the synagogue 7 times while reciting prayers for salvation. This ritual reflects the importance of the number 7 as a cycle of blessings and divine protection. In Christianity, the number 7 frequently appears in rituals and devotional practices. Besides the main sacraments, which can vary from 7 depending on the Christian tradition, the number 7 is central to prayers like the Our Father, which includes 7 petitions. The 7 deadly sins and the 7 cardinal virtues also form the basis for ethical and moral practices in the Christian tradition, reflecting a spiritual balance between temptation and redemption. Here, the number 7 acts as a guide for spiritual life, helping believers navigate the complexities of the Christian path. The importance of the number 7 is not limited to the Abrahamic religions and Hinduism. In Japanese culture, for example, we find Shichi-go-san, a traditional celebration held for boys aged 3 and 5, and girls aged 3 and 7. This ritual marks the growth of children and is seen as a form of divine protection to ensure health and prosperity. The number 7, in particular, is considered auspicious and is associated with good fortune and success. Beyond religious practices, the number 7 also appears in various popular cultural traditions. For example, in Western folklore, the number 7 is often associated with fairy tales and myths. From the 7 lives of the cat to the 7 colors of the rainbow, the number 7 appears as a symbol of magic, mystery, and luck. In literature, the 7 seas and the 7 wonders of the world highlight the number 7 as representing the totality and splendor of human creation. These examples show that the number 7 is much more than just a simple count. It is a fundamental element that permeates rituals and cultural traditions around the world. It represents the quest for perfection, the harmony between the divine and the human, and the balance between the physical and the spiritual. The number 7, in all these contexts, serves as a reminder of the cosmic order and the deep connection between all things. In the next part, we will explore the number 7 in numerology and astrology, where it continues to play a crucial role as a symbol of introspection and spiritual development. Throughout history, the number 7 has been revered not only in religious and cultural contexts, but also in the field of numerology and astrology. These esoteric systems seek to understand the cosmic and spiritual influences on human life, and the number 7 emerges as a powerful symbol of introspection, analysis, and spiritual evolution. In this section, we will explore how the number 7 is interpreted in numerology and astrology, and how it continues to guide those who seek to understand the mysteries of the universe. In numerology, the number 7 is often described as the number of the thinker, the mystic, and the seeker of truth. Unlike other numbers that may be more associated with action or materiality, 7 is linked to the inner world and spiritual exploration. People who have the number 7 prominently in their numerological charts are generally introspective, analytical, and deeply interested in philosophical and spiritual matters. The number 7 is seen as a portal to hidden knowledge and the understanding of life's mysteries. The connection between the number 7 and introspection is reinforced by its association with wisdom. In numerology, 7 is often associated with voluntary isolation, meditation, and study, indicating an inner journey to discover deeper truths. This number suggests a need to look beyond appearances, to question perceived reality, and to seek the essence of things. Those influenced by the number 7 may feel drawn to esoteric studies, spirituality, and philosophies that explore the secrets of the universe. In the field of astrology, the number 7 also holds deep meanings. While astrology traditionally focuses on planets, signs, and houses, the number 7 appears symbolically in various astrological practices. One of the clearest connections is with the 7 classical planets visible to the naked eye: the Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. These planets are considered the rulers of the 7 days of the week, a division that reflects the cosmic order and the natural rhythm of life. The 7 classical planets are also associated with different aspects of human life. The Sun and the Moon, for example, govern identity and emotions respectively, while Mars influences energy and action. Each planet has its own rulership, and together they form a system believed to influence earthly events and human personalities. The number 7, therefore, symbolizes the totality of these cosmic influences and their interaction in each individual's life. Additionally, Vedic astrology, an astrological tradition originating in India, also incorporates the number 7 in significant ways. In the Vedic system, there are 7 main chakras, which are energy centers located along the spine. Each chakra is associated with a different aspect of physical and spiritual life, and the balance of these 7 centers is seen as essential for spiritual health and well-being. Thus, the number 7 in Vedic astrology represents the path to spiritual elevation and alignment with the cosmos. Numerology and astrology often intersect in esoteric practice, where the number 7 is seen as a key to unlocking secrets and achieving a deeper understanding of the universe. This number, with its mystical associations, invites introspection and self-knowledge, encouraging a reflective and contemplative approach to life. Many who follow esoteric practices consider the number 7 a spiritual guide, leading them to greater awareness and inner clarity. This view of the number 7 as a symbol of spiritual development also appears in rituals and self-awareness practices. Many believe that meditating on the number 7, or using it in spiritual practices, can help open doors to new levels of understanding. This belief is reinforced by the idea that the number 7 is a sacred number, associated with perfection and completeness, and that it can help balance internal energies and connect with the divine. Moreover, the number 7 is often considered a number of destiny or luck in the field of astrology, especially in contexts where guidance for the future is sought. Those who have the number 7 in their lives, whether through important dates, names, or other numerological factors, are often seen as destined for a journey of spiritual discovery and inner wisdom. In summary, both in numerology and astrology, The number 7 is revered as a symbol of introspection, wisdom, and spiritual evolution. It invites reflection and the search for a deeper understanding of universal truths, offering a vision that transcends the mundane and connects with the sacred. The number 7, therefore, continues to be a powerful tool for those seeking to unlock the mysteries of the universe and achieve a higher level of consciousness. In the next part, we will unravel the secret codes associated with the number 7, exploring how this number can be seen as a symbol of connection between the human and the divine. Over the ages, the number 7 has been revered not only as a spiritual symbol and psychological guide, but also as a secret code, a kind of hidden key that unlocks doors to deeper and more universal truths. In this part, we will explore the idea that the number 7 contains secret meanings and how it can be interpreted as a code that permeates creation, connecting the human to the divine in surprising ways. The notion that the number 7 is a secret code begins with its repeated presence in sacred texts and esoteric structures. In many of these contexts, the number 7 is seen not just as a number, but as a symbol of cosmic and divine order. For example, in the book of Revelation, the number 7 appears frequently. The 7 churches, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, and the 7 spirits of God. These elements are not just isolated numbers but parts of a larger code that reveals the divine plan for humanity. Some scholars and mystics suggest that by deciphering these codes, we can gain insights into the purpose of life and the destiny of humanity. Beyond sacred texts, the number 7 also appears in sacred mathematical and geometrical structures. Sacred geometry, which studies the patterns found in nature and that are considered divinely inspired, often relies on the number 7. The heptagon, for example, is a 7-sided geometric figure that cannot be perfectly constructed with a ruler and compass, symbolizing the mystery and transcendence of the number 7. In esoteric belief systems, the heptagon is often associated with rituals of protection and the invocation of higher energies. The number 7 also manifests in esoteric practices such as Kabbalah, where it is seen as an expression of divine perfection. In the Kabbalistic system, the Tree of Life, which is a symbolic representation of the different spheres of existence and the paths that connect these spheres, has 10 main sephirot, spheres, but 7 of them are considered the emotional sephirot, governing the attributes of the human heart and soul. These 7 sephirot are seen as a path to understanding and realizing the divine within the human being, connecting the spiritual dimension with the material experience. Astrology, in turn, reveals another aspect of the secret codes of the number 7. As mentioned earlier, the 7 classical planets are seen as the rulers of the 7 days of the week. Each planet influences different aspects of life, and over millennia, astrologers have used this knowledge to create astral maps that guide personal and collective decisions. By studying the movements of these planets, astrologers believe they can decipher the hidden patterns that govern life on Earth, seeing the number 7 as a symbol of universal order and cosmic balance. Moreover, many practitioners of the occult believe that the number 7 possesses magical powers. In various rituals and spells, the number 7 is used to amplify spiritual energy and achieve specific goals. For example, in esoteric numerology practices, the repetition of the number 7 in mantras or incantations is seen as a way to open portals to other dimensions or to attract divine energy. These practices reflect the belief that the number 7 is a code that, when properly understood and applied, can bring significant changes to reality. Some esoteric traditions suggest that the number 7 may be coded into important historical events, acting as a marker of divine interventions. For example, many theorists have explored the idea that 7-year cycles, known as sabbatical cycles, may be linked to major social, economic, and political transformations. These cycles are observed as moments when the divine intervenes in human history, guiding humanity through periods of crisis and renewal. The concept of 7-year cycles is not new and has its roots in ancient agricultural and religious practices, such as the Jewish Shemitah, where the land was to rest every 7 years. This cyclical pattern reflects an understanding that the number 7 acts as a universal rhythm that organizes life into phases of growth, rest, and renewal, both on a personal and collective level. Another fascinating interpretation of the secret codes of the number 7 comes from the theory of fractal patterns in nature. Fractals are geometric shapes that repeat at different scales, and some researchers believe that the number 7 can be seen as a fractal pattern that organizes the structure of reality at multiple levels, from micro to macro. This idea suggests that the number 7 may be a key to understanding the hidden order of the universe, where the same principles apply at all scales of creation. Finally, the number 7 also appears in myths and symbols that have persisted throughout the centuries. The famous legend of the 7 wonders of the world is a classic example of how the number 7 was used to describe what was considered the architectural and artistic perfection of the ancient world. Each of these wonders was seen as the ultimate expression of human skill and creativity, aligning human effort with the divine order, symbolized by the number 7. In conclusion, the number 7 can be interpreted as a secret code that permeates all aspects of creation, from sacred scriptures to natural patterns, esoteric practices, and historical events. This code seems to invite us to seek a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it. The number 7, therefore, is not just a symbol of perfection and completeness, but also a key that can help us unlock the mysteries of existence and connect the mundane with the divine. In the next and final part, we will synthesize the discoveries and reflections we have explored so far, concluding our journey through the universe of the number 7. Throughout this journey, we have explored the presence and significance of the number 7 in various dimensions of life: spiritual, natural, psychological, and esoteric. We have seen how this seemingly simple number is actually a powerful key that connects the mundane to the divine, the visible to the invisible, and the human to the cosmic. Now, it is time to synthesize what we have learned and reflect on how these discoveries can impact our worldview and our quest for understanding and balance. We began with the perception of the number 7 as a universal spiritual symbol, widely recognized in different cultures and religious traditions. From the creation of the world in 7 days in Genesis to the 7 heavens mentioned in the Quran, the number 7 appears repeatedly as a sign of completeness and perfection. This sacred number is not just an indicator of divine order, but also a reminder that the universe is governed by spiritual laws that manifest through numerical patterns. As we moved forward, we discovered that the number 7 is not just an abstract concept, but a reality that permeates the natural world. From the 7 continents of the earth to the 7 colors of the rainbow, the number 7 appears in fundamental structures of nature, suggesting a cosmic order that goes beyond what our senses can perceive. This recurrence in nature reinforces the idea that the number 7 is a code inscribed in the very fabric of the universe, a reflection of divine harmony and beauty. The influence of the number 7 on the human mind is also undeniable. Psychologically, the number 7 resonates with us in ways we do not always consciously perceive. From our preference for choosing the number 7 in random choices to our limited short-term memory capacity, the number 7 seems to be deeply rooted in our psyche. It also appears in cultural structures and superstitions, where it is often associated with luck and success, showing that its influence extends to both the rational and the irrational. In the field of rituals and cultural traditions, we saw how the number 7 is incorporated into ceremonies and practices that seek connection with the divine. Whether in the 7 circuits around the Kaaba during the Hajj, the 7 steps of the Hindu marriage, or the 7 days of celebration in religious festivals, the number 7 acts as a symbol of holiness and completeness. It marks moments of transition and transformation, guiding people through rites that symbolize the passage from one state of being to another. When we delved into numerology and astrology, the number 7 revealed itself as a symbol of introspection, wisdom, and spiritual evolution. In esoteric practices, 7 is seen as a number that guides those who seek hidden truth and understanding of life's mysteries. Its presence in astrological charts and meditation practices suggests that the number 7 is a path to enlightenment, a means of achieving balance and harmony with the universe. Finally, by unraveling the secret codes of the number 7, we realize that it acts as a key to understanding the patterns and cycles that govern both the physical and spiritual worlds. Whether in sacred texts, esoteric practices, or the structure of reality itself, the number 7 appears as a symbol of cosmic order, reflecting the presence of a higher intelligence that organizes chaos into harmony. As we conclude this exploration, it becomes clear that the number 7 is not just a number. It is a portal to a deeper understanding of the universe and our own existence. It invites us to look beyond the superficial and to seek the essence of things, to find order in chaos, and to discover the sacred in the mundane. In the end, the number 7 reminds us that the universe is a mysterious and wonderful place, full of codes and symbols that guide us on our spiritual journey. So, as we say goodbye to this topic, we are invited to reflect on how the number 7 can continue to influence our lives. We can use it as a reminder to seek balance and harmony, to connect with the divine, and to explore the mysteries that surround us. The number 7, after all, is not just a symbol of perfection. It is a guide for the soul, a key that opens doors to deeper understanding and an invitation to a more fulfilling and conscious life. With this, we conclude our exploration of the number 7, leaving you with the reflection of how this sacred number can continue to inspire and guide your journey. May the number 7 be for you, as it has been for many throughout history, a symbol of wisdom, completeness, and connection with the divine. Now that we have explored the number 7 and its secret codes, I'd like to know, how has the number 7 impacted your life or your spiritual journey? Have you ever noticed the presence of this number in important moments of your life? Please share your story in the comments below. By doing so, you not only contribute your experience, but also inspire others in the Mind Unfettered community to reflect on the hidden and profound connections that the number 7 can reveal in their lives. And before you go, don't forget to check out the next video that appears on your screen. Secret Codes of Jesus Christ, the Power of the Mind. This video explores how Jesus Christ used the power of the mind in extraordinary ways, revealing teachings that transcend time and continue to profoundly impact our lives today. Let's continue this journey together, uncovering more mysteries that can transform your life. Mind Unfettered. Let's go beyond the obvious and discover together the secrets that shape the universe.